If you are a container gardener or if you're considering becoming one, let me show you some tricks on watering that will make your life even easier. Whether you are using earth boxes, grow bags, wicking tubs, or any other container you may have, this is a simple system that will work for you. Check it out. Let me show you what I've done. First of all, I drew out a little map of it. Just a real simple drawing. Here's where the water comes in. I've got a blackberry box right there that I need to water. And then all these are tees going down a row of containers. And then that's my okra there, and I've got another couple of boxes over here that are containers. Back here I've got 2 containers. I'll be going to those. And over here, way over there, I've got an orange tree. Let me just show you some of the components of it. So I like these kind. That one's kind of dirty, but that is an elbow. And it's compression in that you put it on, unscrew this all the way, put it on like that, and then you screw that down, turn that down to where it's tight, and that's on there. It's not coming off. And then but it's removable. You make a mistake, you pull it out, you do it again. I've got a hole punch. That's a little hand hole punch with a sharp end. I've got one here that's more blunt. I've used that quite a bit. If the pipe is out in the sun, it's been sitting there for a while, it gets a little soft. Sometimes that doesn't work real well. That's the reason I pull that one out too. I've got a timer on it. I really like this Orbit timer. It's just a mechanical timer. You turn it on to, it goes up to 2 hours. You turn it on to 15 minutes or 60 minutes or whatever. And I bought 3 of them last year. I bought 2 more this year. I have not ever had one of these to fail, to not turn off. So far, I really like those Orbit timers. Now what you do at the end of your, I'm trying to make this not so intimidating for you, because it's really not. What you do at the end of it, you need to just kink that pipe. Well, the way you do that is to run one of these figure 8 doodads on. There's other ways to do it, but this is the simplest way. Run that down it, bend that back, leave yourself a few inches here, a few inches right in there, bend that back, and then put that figure 8 on it, and it kinks it off, and you're done. It's kinked. That's how you make your row end, your tubing end. So that's that. Okay, if you make a mistake, if you punch a hole where there's not supposed to be a hole, there's something called a goof plug. Basically, it just plugs in there and just stops up the hole. It's not perfect. It may leak a drop or 2 every now and then, but it's not a big deal. You'll need a way to cut it, something good and sharp, because you want your edges, your ends to be absolutely flush and sharp, just a good sharp cutting, good sharp end there. So let's get started. Let me show you what's going on. Well, I said it's not intimidating. This is the only part that is, and that's you need a filter. Things you have to have are a filter and a pressure regulator. Those things are necessary. If you have too much pressure, your house pressure or your well pressure is 50 pounds, you're going to blow some of these fittings off. They're just not designed for a 50-pound burst of water. So you need a pressure regulator. So you can buy this separately. You can buy a filter. That's what this has, a filter inside it. You can buy that filter. You can buy a pressure regulator, or you can go to Haas Tools, and it's set up for you. It's a good filter system. It's a good pressure regulator, and it's just set up and ready to go. There's no guesswork, for a little bit more money. What I've done here is put the timer first, because anything I do on this system, I want to be able to time it. So I put the timer first right at the faucet. I put a timer, then I put a Y. The reason I have a Y is because one of these days I may want to come in and hook a sprinkler up to it where I can water with a wand or a sprinkler. So I've got a Y on it. Most of the time it's going to stay shut off, going to stay in the shut off position. So this is the only part that's in any way intimidating, is filtering your water and reducing your pressure. I'll try to put links below to everything. I will put a link for sure to the Haas one, but they may not have it, so I'll try to put some links below. But this is the only part that is in any way intimidating. From here on, it's a piece of cake and anybody can do it. Let me show you where we go from here. This is my main line that I'm running now, and it will need a T right at that point. This tube right here is what I just showed you, coming underground from the faucet set up with the filter and all that. So I'm gonna put a T on it. And again, these fittings couldn't be easier. You just push it on there. Make sure you've backed off all the way on your nut. Push it on real good, and then you tighten that nut down. And when you tighten that nut, it's done. So this is my short piece. Push it on there, and it goes on there maybe a ½ inch, between 1/4 and 1/2 inch. Back off, push it a little bit more, try to get it tight as you can, and then clamp down on it with the nut. So I showed you the figure-8 end cap, and all this is doing, again, is just running over to this one blackberry plant, and that's where I'm gonna stop it, right here. So I put that on there, do that, and it's clamped off, it's kinked off, and I'll just lay that down. I may put a staple, landscape staple or something there to hold it in place, or I may just put it right there, whatever. So from here, I go down the row and start running toward running my main line down here where my rows are. So let's do that. Again, this is much easier to work with when it's been laid out for a day or so. And so I need it to be about this long. That's about where I'm going to stop it. I'm not going to cut it off right now because it's just not necessary. So I'll need another T right here. We've got a T right there bringing the water in, and I'll need another T right here, right kind of even with that row. Cut that off with good sharp pair. I want the water to run this way, so I put the T right there. T, back off, push on, make sure you're on there good before you clamp it down good. And once it's clamped down, you can move these a little bit. You know, if I need to move them, then I'll come up here and do a little bit, do my final adjustment, make sure I'm good on that. All right, this is the rest of my main line, and I'm going to put that on there to go to my next row. Clamp it off. This part of the T will go down this row, and we'll do that in a minute, but not right now. So let's do some more rows just like I did this one. Same process. We're just putting in another T for another row. Okay, so you've got your main line in. You want to get that water from your main line into your tub or into your earth box or into your wicking tub, grow bag, whatever. So what you need to do is get 1/4 inch tube. This is a 2-gallon emitter, and I like to use the same emitter on everything. That way I know if I turn the water on for an hour, everything is getting 2 gallons of water. So you'll take this 1/4 inch barb, put it in your 1/4 inch tubing. Sometimes it's a little tight. And then you'll punch a hole again, once again with the hole in your pipe. Take that 1/4 inch barb, you'll hear it snap in, and then run that down in your wicking tub, grow bag. So here is that blackberry plant in an earth box. I want to just run this down there like that. I'm gonna punch a hole right there. I like that hole punch, I really do. Punch that, click it in. You can usually hear it snap in, and that will get 2 gallons per hour because that is a 2 gallon per hour emitter. I use the same emitters on everything. I've tried adjustable to where I didn't overwater some things. I quit using adjustable ones. I use the same emitter on all my boxes, bags, wicking tubs, everything. Same emitter. I know everything's getting the same amount of water, unless an emitter stops up, something like that. But I mean, as a general rule, everything's getting the same amount of water. Okay, it's a little bit different with a grow bag, because since you will probably, at least I hope you do, have a tray underneath it to catch the water. Otherwise, grow bags go dry real quick. You can either water the tub or you can water the grow bag. Well, since that's a 2 gallon emitter, if I water the tub, then I'm giving 2 gallons of water to both these, and I really want to give 2 gallons each. So I'm going to put, I like to put an emitter in each grow bag. There again, I've got a barb on the end of this 1/4 inch tubing. I'll punch a hole. Snap it in. And most of the time you can hear that snap pretty good. And that grow bag is set up to get 2 gallons of water every two gallons of water per hour. But that's the way you do grow bags. All right, now let's go ahead and do a wicking tub. So the only difference in a wicking tub, maybe you have a longer 1/4 inch, so you make sure you get down the hole good. But that's plenty. So I'll punch a hole right there. Snap that 1/4 inch barb in. And that wicking tub will get the same 2 gallons per hour that everything else is getting. Now, if you know anything about wicking tubs, you know that you can't overwater them. These have a hole down at the bottom, a weep hole, and you just can't, no matter how much water, I could put 20 gallons in there, it could rain 6 inches tonight, and it's still gonna weep out that hole when it's got about 4 gallons, about 3 gallons in it, 2.5 to 3 gallons. So that's the way you set them up. Each container or each grow bag will get a line, a 1/4 inch line with an emitter on it. In my case, 2 gallons per hour. You may want 1 gallon per hour. In the hot summertime, these plants, these wicking tubs, these earth boxes also will go dry every day. If you've got a 4-foot tomato plant that's got about a dozen half-pound or pound tomatoes on it, it is sucking some water. So a good mature plant needs minimum a gallon a day, and it probably needs more than that, because if you're in Texas and it's hot and you're getting evaporation, you're getting those tomatoes probably 75% water anyway. So it's just, you really need it. And the peppers need it, everything needs it. So that's what I do on the wicking tubs. That's how I go from the main line, that main tubing, main line there. That's how I go from that into each tub or each grow bag. Just a 1/4 inch tube with a barb on the end, and down in it with an emitter. So here's the final product. We start out here at the faucet with the filter, the pressure regulator. It emerges. Mine goes underground. Yours may not do that. Mine is underground and then emerges right here. I've got one going over to that beautiful blackberry plant. Then I've got a line going all the way down to the earth boxes and the grow bags, grapes, and then another line running over to that lone tree there. That's a Satsuma orange tree. So we've got a T there, just like I had it drawn out, a T there, with a line going that way, a T there with a line going that way, that way, that way, all down these rows of containers. No matter what the container is, it gets the same treatment. I think you can see how simple that is, simply laid out it is. Up into these wicking tubs, more grow bags, earth boxes, and yes, it's thundering, so I don't need to have the water on, but I'm just showing you. Had to turn it on to show you. Some more teas, feeding these lines. These are cucumbers, beans. You're gonna have some more cucumbers on the back side. All these wicking tubs down at the end, earth boxes here, all of them have the same approach. Here's some grape and fig plants, and down this row is a different type, that's a drip irrigation, to a row of okra there. I'll have all the components, all the parts listed below the video, so be sure and check that out. It'll make it much easier.